Without a doubt, one of the most common questions that I am asked when it comes to people looking to get into the Festool Dust Extractor ecosystem is, which one do I buy, right? There's so many different choices for you to choose from, and this isn't even all of them. Well, in this video, I want to cover some of the basic fundamental features of each one of these machines in the hopes that that will help you make the right decision. There is a misconception when it comes to the line of dust extractors, and that is that as they get larger, every single one is more powerful. So I need to get the biggest one because it's the most powerful. That's not necessarily the case, and here's what I'm talking about. Over here on this side, we have the smaller end portion of the dust extractors being the CT15, CT25, and then the CT MIDI. All of these vacuums come in at 130 CFM. So very, very similar statistics across the board, but they all have the same CFM. Then we move over here to this side where we get into the CT26, 36, and 48, and they all have the same CFM as well, except that they're at 137 CFM. So whether you go with one of the smaller ones or one of the larger ones, the CFM ratings of them are pretty much the same. The real thing to consider is capacity. So what are you using the dust extractor for? Are you just using it for one tool every once in a while, or are you using it as your primary dust extraction system in your shop for all of the tools that you're using on a regular basis? So here's how the capacity breaks down among the different dust extractors. So we're going to start all the way over here to the left at basically our most inexpensive entry-level options, and also smallest capacity with the CT15, and then we also have the new CT25. Now, the 15 means something, the 25 means something. That is the amount of liters of capacity that the bag on that dust extractor will hold. As we move into the CT26, 36, and 48, as you can imagine, the capacity is larger, being 26, 36 liters, and 48 liters. So in an instance like this, if you need a lot of capacity or you want to change the bag less often, or you're using a lot of tools, then a CT36 or 48 may be a better option for you, especially if it's the only dust extractor that you're going to use in your shop. However, if you need something just for, say, one tool from time to time, then one of the smaller options may be a better decision for you as well, and obviously you're going to have some cost savings with that. Why would I go with the more expensive option versus the less expensive option? Well, there's a few things that are different about the machines themselves. The CT MIDI, you're going to get Bluetooth built into the machine, and in a CT15 or a CT25, Bluetooth is not going to be an option. So if that's something that you care about, then you know that these two immediately are off of the table for you because you will never have that capability. However, when you get into the MIDI, the 26, the 36, and the 48, you do have that Bluetooth capacity. Now, I said the Bluetooth is built into the MIDI. It is not necessarily built into the 26, 36, and 48. However, you can buy a module and you can install that module, and then you have the remote and it will talk to it. So you do have Bluetooth capability on the larger dust extractors. Now on the CT15 and CT25, even though you are losing the ability to have Bluetooth, you do not lose the ability for the variable speed that is available on all of the Festool dust extractors. Now another difference that you're going to see between the more affordable options, the CT15 and the CT25, is the hose. This does not include an anti-static hose that is also wrapped, which you will see with the MIDI or the larger versions. And finally, one of the other features about some of the larger options, being the CT36 and the CT48, is that you will have the ability to have an Autoclean feature if that is something that is required for the type of work or the tools that you are using. Now, you are not going to get an Autoclean feature on the CT26 or the lower dust extractors. It's only going to be for these larger, higher capacity dust extractors. So to recap, it does boil down to obviously the budget that you have, and these over here are going to be your more budget-friendly options. And then as the cost increases, you are obviously going to get an addition in capacity on the machine. So whatever it is that you're using it for, it is not about the amount of CFM, because any one of the dust extractors that are shown here is going to provide more than enough CFM for the tools that you are hooking up to them. It boils down to how much capacity you need. So if you don't need a lot of capacity, then over here, one of these is going to be your option. If you need a little bit more capacity, you don't want to change your bag out nearly as much, then one of these is going to be your option. Additionally, if you are interested in some of the accessories like a boom arm assembly or like the mobile workstation for each one of these larger dust extractors, then again, these are going to be your option. So don't fall into the trap of thinking that I just absolutely need to get the biggest one because it has the most suction and it's going to give me the best capacity, or I just need to get the smallest one because it's the least expensive. Really take the time to think about what it is that you're going to use it for and how much capacity you really need, and then what your budget is, and use the information in this video, and that should help you choose the right dust extractor for you in your shop.